Time is one of your most important assets. I know a lot of people say time and money are the same, but they're not. See, you can get money back, but you can't get time back. Welcome to the Daily Genius. I'm Dr. Will. Super excited that you're here. Super excited that you're a part of the Genius Nation family. So, if you've been with us for the last couple of days, you know that I just started this brand new series called the Daily Genius. This is where I'm showing up in our community every single day for 365 days. This is episode number 4. And the whole intent behind the Daily Genius is to take you behind the scenes and just give you some tips, give you some strategies, give you some insights about how I run my life, how I manage my life, how I manage 4 different companies, and how I maximize my opportunity. So I hope that you are getting some value out of this. Every day, my intent is to show up and invest about 8 to 15 minutes with you, 8 to 12 minutes with you, and just share a part of my day. So today I want to talk to you about empowering your time, One of my favorite quotes that I always say is that we're all equal in time, separated by how we invested. We're all equal in time. All of us get 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week, but it's how we invest that time. So as we are closing out this year, 2023, we're in the month of December. The thing that I like to do is I like to start my year December 1st. I like to start my year December 1st. That gives me 13 months instead of 12 months. And when you really do the calculation over the years, you're literally adding years, right, to productivity. If you just say December 1st is my year, and what I like to use the month of December for is to make sure that I have everything in line, that I have everything organized. So when I actually hit January 1st, I'm hitting the ground running. So many people lose time and lose momentum because they wait to the first of the month, the 1st of January, to start getting organized. Now that takes them into February, and then we've lost like 2 months of productivity. So that's why I like to start in December. And that gives me the opportunity to kind of get everything planned out for the new year. I like to do my calendar. I like to see what my year, as much as possible, the dates that I have on my calendar, I want to see as much as possible what my year is mapping out. Now, I'm a professional speaker, so my calendar dates get added all throughout the year as people hire me to come in and consult, to come in and do keynotes and things like that. But then inside our academy, we have things that we specifically do. So that's already on the calendar. Like, for instance, I already know in January, we have our Master the Mic. That's the event where I take 10 individuals and teach them how to develop and create a killer keynote. So that's in January 26th through the 28th, I believe that is. So I like to kind of just map out my year so I can see what I have going on. Now, a couple of ideas that I want to share with you this morning when we're talking about time, because time is so powerful. When I realized how powerful time was, that like literally you can shape and create your masterful life using time. So let me give you an example. So we're here in December. It's December the 4th today. Today is December the 4th. So I wrote this little note down that I want to share with you. In 22 days. And now, once again, as I'm sharing this with you, I don't know where everybody is as it relates to their life. I don't know if you're a full-time entrepreneur, business owner. I don't know if you're a career professional. So as I share this information with you, I want you to take it with a grain of salt, but I also want you to make it right for your world. I want you to make it fit for your world. So I'm going to use some times and I'm going to use some ideas, but I want you to make it fit for your world, right? So this works for my world where I am right now because I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So I look at the month of December. we know we have Christmas and we have some other things going on. But for me, I have 22 days of productivity. I have 22 days of productivity. And in those 22 days of productivity, I'm committing to working 10 hours a day, 10 hours a day, right? So I'll share with you later on my 10 before 10. For those of you that have followed me for quite some time, you know I have this thing that I call my 10 before 10. And you guys know that I get up anywhere between 3 and 4 o'clock. So I want you to just look at, for me, working 10 hours, right, by 1 o'clock in the day, I'm done. I'm done with my day. So from 3 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then I'm done with my day. That works for me. You got to find what works for you. Maybe you can commit 4 hours. Maybe you can commit 2 hours. I don't know, but you got to find out what works for you. But for me, I have 22 days of productivity in the month of December. I'm committing 10 hours a day. So that's going to give me 220 hours. So I have 220 hours to work with. And what I like to do is, and I'll show this to you later on, what I like to do is, as much as I can think about, I like to do a brain dump and put all of my tasks, everything that I need to do, all of my projects that I'm working on, I like to write them all down. Like, I have my whiteboards here and I just write. And as much as possible, everything that I'm responsible for, everything that I need to do, I just write it down, right? Then I start assigning importance to those tasks. So if it's a task that's leading to income, then it's going to get a high priority. If it's a task that just helps me become more organized, it's going to get a certain priority. And so now I have 220 hours. I can start assigning. I can look at my task and say, okay, this task is going to take 20 minutes. This task is going to take 8 hours. So how am I going to work that? Am I going to say, you know what, over the 8 days, I'm going to invest 1 hour a day working on that 8-hour task? For me, I'm a person who has ADHD, right? So it's hard to hold my attention. So it would be very hard for me to work on one task for 8 hours straight. So I know I need to break that up. So I may say I'm going to invest 2 hours, then I'm going to move to something else and start working on something else. Maybe a 30-minute project over here, a 20-minute project, maybe something that takes me, just something that's going to break up the monotony of that 8-hour task, right? That's what works for me. And when you're creating and building your best life, that's what you have to do. You have to figure out what works best for you. There's a lot of people out here, me included, that are going to be giving you ideas, giving you suggestions. What I suggest that you do is take it once again with a grain of salt, chew on it, and see what works for you. I'm sharing what works for me. So borrow, some of these systems and strategies and ideas that I'm giving to you, borrow some of them and see what works for you. Right? Because one of the most dangerous things, I remember I was talking to a guy one time and he was like, Dr. Will, I'm trying to keep up with your schedule. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, man, I'm trying to wake up at 3 a.m. with you. And then I said, well, let me ask you this. Do you have a job? He says, yes, I have a job. I said, well, you're probably not going to be able to keep up with me. Right? You need to figure out what works for you. So maybe not waking up at 3 a.m., but maybe waking up at 5 a.m. works for you, because you got to go and sit in the office for 8 hours, 9 hours. I don't want you falling asleep and then lose your job, right? Maybe it works for you to come home, kind of decompress, hang out with the family and say, you know what, my power hour is going to be from 9 to 10:30. From 9 to 10:30, I'm going to be focused on my business. I'm going to be focused on my goals. I'm going to be focused on whatever the project I have going on. And that's what I'm going to do. So you want to take this information, whether it's me or anybody else, and you want to make sure it's working for you. So for me, I got these 22 days. I got 10 hours a day. And I'm telling you, I'm so energized because when I'm looking at my task, we're motivated by accomplishments. We're motivated by finishing stuff. And so when you get a system in place that shows you the end of the road, before I used to get overwhelmed because I would have all these tasks, and just looking at the tasks, I would just get overwhelmed because there were so many. And then, like, for me, every day, different tasks are being added. And so I would get overwhelmed until I figured out this system, right? I figured out a system of, okay, everything doesn't have to happen today. Everything doesn't have to be finished today. And I begin to look at things and give them priorities and say, okay, this is important because this is going to impact our cash flow. This is important because maybe it's time sensitive. Give you an example. I'm getting ready for a TEDx talk. So I have to turn in some paperwork for a TEDx talk. That's time sensitive. It's due on the 7th. So on my calendar, I have it that it needs to be completed by the 6th. So that task, I can't put that off. That task has to be completed. So it goes to a high priority. So is this making sense? So you want to kind of make a system that allows you to say, hey, this is a high priority. This is a medium priority. This is, I don't want to say a low priority, but does it need to be done right now, right? You can have some time with that. And so you can put it on your schedule to have it done by this date or have it done by this date. So I hope all of this makes sense. This is kind of how I begin to manage my tasks and begin to manage my day. It starts off with doing a brain dump. I put everything down that I'm responsible for. I talked to you guys the other day about like my social media. Everything for me, I need to see it type of guy. I'm a feel it type of guy. So I have this right here, and just like if you see right now, I literally going down where. I'm going down right here, going down the line. Did I post today at this? Yes, 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 yes. And this keeps me on track. I keep this right here. I have on my phone a reminder that it's time to post. I shared with you the other day that the times that I post. So I have that as a reminder on my phone. It's time to post. So these are just things that I've implemented into my life and into my day-to-day that makes it easier for me to stay organized. So I hope this little behind the scenes of how I manage my time helped you out today. Man, I am so energized by doing these daily geniuses. I hope that you are getting benefit from it, that you're coming. If you're not able to join us live, just put a notice in your phone to just make sure you come into the nation. We have some other exciting things every single day. We're going to have a focus for you to think about. Today is Mastery Monday. And so once again, I want you to be able to plan out your week. So Monday, you should be able to look at your week. What's the wins for this week? What do you need to do to make sure you have a winning week? So we have a lot of things that are going to be going on inside the group to keep you motivated, to keep you on track, to help you become the best version of yourself. So lock in, put a little notification on your phone that, hey, I haven't been inside the group. Let me go see what's going on in the group. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your ideas. Let me know how you're mastering this Monday and how you're mastering the week. Leave some comments in the group. All right, guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next Daily Genius.